Hello, I'm Steve Weber, the host of Essential Book Drop. We're featuring our top 3 new releases that you can see and download at essentialbookdrop.com. Happy Wednesday, everyone. It's October 29th, 2025. With me, as always, is my co-host and my bookworm sidekick, Cassandra. Good morning, Tess.
Good morning. It's great to be here. We've got a really powerful set of books lined up for you today.
We certainly do, ranging from, well, deep history to some very personal stories.
Exactly. So our mission, as always, is to give you the core insights from these new releases.
Okay, let's start. Our first book is a big one. It's The Gales of November, the untold story of the Edmund Fitzgerald. The author is John U. Bacon.
And the genre is narrative nonfiction, focusing on maritime history.
Right. The Edmund Fitzgerald, even now, almost 50 years later, that story is just haunting.
It really is. November 10th, 1975. This enormous freighter vanishes on Lake Superior. No distress call, nothing.
And all 29 crew members lost in one of the worst storms recorded there.
What Bacon does so well, I think, is setting the context. This wasn't just any ship.
No, it was the largest on the Great Lakes at the time, and he argues it represented the peak of the Great Lakes post-World War II golden age.
Yeah, he makes that comparison, doesn't he, to Silicon Valley today.
Yeah.
In terms of economic power, fueling the country with iron ore.
It's a striking image, this industrial powerhouse.
And the Fitzgerald was its symbol. Peak efficiency. Seemingly unsinkable, so when it went down...
It was more than just losing a ship. It was like a crack in that whole post-war confidence.
Definitely. Hubris meeting nature's fury, in a way.
And the storm itself, the details are staggering. Winds over 100 miles per hour.
And waves, they estimate 50 feet high, on a lake. It's almost unimaginable.
Just a monstrous environment. No wonder even the biggest ship couldn't survive it.
But where Bacon's book really stands out, Steve, is the human element. He focuses on the cost.
He got access to the families, didn't he, of all 29 men?
Unprecedented access. And that changes everything. It stops being just a technical mystery.
Right. It becomes about the actual lives lost. The Wall Street Journal had that quote.
Yeah. Dead men tell no tales, but their loved ones do. Mr. Bacon tracked them down and listened.
That listening, it brings empathy to the forefront. It's not just about wreckage and waves.
Exactly. It's that combination.
Oh.
The deep research into the disaster and this profound human connection.
Which explains why it's a New York Times bestseller and why people are comparing it to huge books like The Perfect Storm or Dead Wake.
It's essential, really, for understanding the event, but also the time it happened in.
Okay, let's shift gears now from that external historical tragedy on the water to a very internal personal journey. Book number 2 is Unseen: How I Lost My Vision But Found My Voice. It's by Molly Burke.
This is a new release in the Memoirs of Women category.
And Molly Burke's story, it's quite remarkable. Diagnosed at just 4 years old.
With retinitis pigmentosa, a rare degenerative eye condition. She knew she would eventually lose her sight completely.
Which she did. But her life story isn't just about vision loss. It's about, well, reconciling that with who she is and how the world sees her.
That's the core of it, I think, this duality you mentioned earlier. On one hand, she achieves amazing things.
Like being a rock climbing instructor.
Yeah.
And winning beauty pageants. Things that seem very visible.
Exactly. But then, simultaneously, she endured years of just horrific bullying, toxic situations.
Well, because people couldn't see past her disability.
Precisely. They put her in a box based on her vision loss, ignoring everything else she was, everything she could do.
So the memoir really explores that gap between her capabilities, her identity, and other people's narrow perceptions.
And she uses her experiences, even the painful ones, to build her message.
Which is?
It's about embracing that duality, of finding strength in being, as she puts it, unapologetically yourself.
It's not just recounting the past then, it's using it.
Yes. It's described as part memoir, part rallying cry. It's an encouragement, really, for anyone listening.
To find your own voice, to push back against how society tries to define you.
Exactly. It's about self-acceptance as a kind of powerful resistance.
That idea of fighting against external expectations, especially around timing, that leads us very naturally into our third book.
It does. This one also deals with societal pressure, but in a different way.
Okay, book 3 is Who Is She? A Late Bloomer's Survival Guide. The author is Elora Danan.
Another new release, also in biographies and memoirs of women.
And Elora Danan started her journey with an incredibly vulnerable public admission.
She did. She put it out there on TikTok. Basically said, "Hi, I'm Elora. I'm 32.
And I've never been kissed, never been asked out, and never been on a date.
Yeah. something she'd carried as this huge, shameful secret for years.
Wow, that takes guts. And what happened?
It went viral. Completely exploded. Millions of people felt seen by her honesty.
So that vulnerability actually connected her to people.
Massively. It led to her appearing on the Drew Barrymore show and eventually meeting her first boyfriend.
That's amazing, turning private shame into, well, into public connection and opportunity.
And that's the core of the book, really. Why did her confession resonate so much? Because so many people feel like they're behind.
Especially now, right? With social media showing everyone's highlight reel, everyone's milestones.
Exactly. Marriage, kids, career, even first relationships. There's this perceived timeline, and if you're not on it...
You feel like you failed somehow, or that it's too late.
So Dannon's book isn't just her story. It's framed as a practical guide.
A survival guide, like the title says.
Right. For anyone feeling like a late bloomer, she addresses those quiet questions people carry.
Like, how do you even start dating at 30? Or am I just too far behind?
Yeah, and her message isn't about catching up. It's about letting go of that fear, that insecurity tied to timing.
It's about defining yourself on your own terms, at your own pace.
Precisely. Discovering how to feel complete regardless of your age or relationship status. Willie Womble called it a practical, compassionate guide.
And it really emphasizes that shame has no place in that journey. It's never too late.